Is that the fire alarm? Wait a second.
Welcome to the 90s.
Where Terry Pahoosh from Stony Point, New York will live rent-free till the year 2000. Now, you get
Hey dude, a plane is about to crash into the World Trade Center. We gotta do something about it, man. You never think your comment, "I wish I was born earlier," would kill somebody in the past.
That alternate side is in effect today in all 5 boroughs of New York City. And this report is sponsored by Tom McCann. Today, filling your car up with gasoline costs over $20 today to get.
Alright. I turned on the good old CRT, and it is laughable what a big deal Clinton's impeachment was.
I did not have sexual relations with that woman.
But he will be remembered as the president after Bush. Of course, 90s were a golden era for cheesy sitcoms. I mean, could they be any cheesier? Laugh track was omnipresent and shows rarely included any edgy scripts. The worst events to unfold was eventually a dog running away from home like in Full House episode titled Comet's Excellent Adventure. But that started to change by the end of millennium, with introduction of The Sopranos. This show revolutionized what stories could do on television, and suddenly people went from Will Smith rapping about his life as Prince of Bel-Air to mobster Tony Soprano committing a cold-blooded murder, but yet you would still root for him. And now it is time for my workout routine, but no listening to unlimited Spotify playlists. Instead, we'll be using this cool gadget. Sony Discman is a portable CD player launched in 1984. Sony enjoyed a massive success with cassette player predecessor called Walkman, and so decided to manufacture a compact disc version. At the beginning in the 80s, Discman could afford only the richest 1%. By the 90s, prices finally dropped down to $430. And now we just have to pick an album on CD. Whoa, I so miss picking a CD in this plastic case. The combination of sound of plastic and the sense of touch, it is something else, man. I think we completely lost this aesthetic in modern world since everything is digitalized. Only 90s kids will know who's on the album cover. Each CD can hold about 15 songs. Man, let that sink in for a moment. We have come a long way. I'm actually gonna listen to my custom burned CD, just so I can avoid any copyright. A new scratch CD! Oh my god, please God, please work, please God, please work, please work. Yes! Alright. Excuse me, fellas.
Malaka, get your shit moving!
I need to return some videotapes.
I'm Greek, you know!
Drive to the nearest video rental store. In order to watch a film at home, you had to drive yourself to the nearest video rental store, rent a film, and return it after 3 days. Even the titles you wish somebody else to rent it for you. Video stores peaked in the 90s, and the most popular was Blockbuster Video. The cost of renting one film was approximately $3. Can you believe that? That you had to actually pay for watching a film? But dude, 90s cinematography was radical. They even have Beethoven! My mom used to rent me this film like millions of times when I was a kid. One of the greatest things about the video store was social interaction and communication. It was a place where you would talk with each other or with the staff about movie recommendation or favorite genres. I think it is something that streaming platforms will never be able to replicate. Hey, did you know that a relatively unknown company at the time called Netflix offered to sell itself to Blockbuster for $50 million? Blockbuster declined the offer and viewed it as a bad investment because Netflix at the time had only renting DVDs by mail. There's no way. I found a freaking payphone! Cannot believe this thing is still in a working function. Alright guys, I'm gonna call my younger brother Joseph. You know, a guy that got hit by a car at the beginning of a video. We're gonna see if he's okay. 1848 9. Damn it! That's right. In a world without a smartphone, you had to write all your contact numbers on a piece of paper or either memorize them. That was the only way to do it, and I cannot remember my brother's last four numbers.
Nico, it's Roman. Let's go bowling.
After all, it takes only credit cards, and I certainly don't want to put my credit card in one of these old payphones. I'm getting out of here.
What's up, dude? This is Derek. I was just calling to, because I was curious what it's like to have no friends.
You may be wondering from where the hell is that sound coming from.
I'll talk to you later. Bye.
This is something called an answering machine, and it was a necessity of households in the 90s. Answering machine's purpose was to accept missed calls and greet the caller with a personalized message. So let's say your friend called you at a time you weren't home. Answering machine allowed them to leave a voice message that you could listen to when you returned home. And to illustrate just how advanced our technology has become, let me show you how this gadget worked. So what you see here is the earlier model that had two audio cassette tapes, an outgoing cassette to the right and the incoming cassette to the left. Outgoing cassette contained your custom so-called leave a message sound, which people were getting quite creative back in the day. Let's hear mine. Believe it or not, I'm not at home. Please leave a message at the beep. I must be out or I'll pick up the phone. When your outgoing cassette stops, the machine starts recording the caller's message onto a incoming cassette. And it all sounded something like this.
Hi, man. If you want to come back, you're welcome to. You know, if you want to be with an older lady, I'll do it.
Radical, it works! This is Windows 95. On Windows 95 we can use calculator, notepad, and even paint. How cool is that? Now wait, I think I actually saw AOL on this computer. AOL, originally known as America Online, was like your typical modern day app for text messaging. The biggest difference was that you had to actually pay for it, around $9 per month. And inflation adjusted, that comes to around $19, which was pretty pricey at the time. Okay, it's loading. And it's still loading. Okay, now this takes quite a while.
You've got mail.
This was the happiest sound you could hear in the 90s. AOL pioneered instant messaging and chat rooms. The idea that you could chat with a complete random stranger all across the country was such an innovative and exciting concept at the time. Guys, I mean, before Tinder, some of our parents perhaps met using AOL. However, the biggest con of early internet was that it ran on dial-up connection, which provided a speed of around 56 kilobytes per second. And this means if you wanted to download a small 3 megabyte song from Napster, it would take you about 40 minutes to do so. Oh my god. Look at that symbol of red coloring. The tasteful thickness of it. Oh my god. What is crazy to me is the sheer amount of devices people needed to buy in the 90s, but still barely owned half of what we have on today's smartphone. I mean, wanna take photos? Buy an analog film camera. Wanna leave a voice message? Buy an answering machine. Even if you were interested only in one particular song, it was necessary to buy an entire album of specific artists on compact disc or cassette tape. Yeah, there was plan B, but that is if you were patient enough. You could wait for your song on radio station and record it onto a blank cassette tape. You had to have super fast reflexes in order to stop the recording before the station announcer comes back on. Underneath the CRT is VCR, short for Video Cassette Recorder. Not only that VCR could play your blockbuster rentals, but record a video from broadcast television and play back the recording after rewinding. So let's say if two television programs broadcasted simultaneously, Terminator 2 Judgment Day and a new episode of Friends, you could have recorded Terminator 2 onto a blank VHS tape, watch Friends, and then later watch Terminator 2. Funny as it sounds, this was the way of downloading in the 90s. Alright, dear viewers from the future, it is time for me too to go back to the future. It's kind of crazy how many things I did today. It seems that smartphone has become such a distraction in having a productive day. I mean, this morning, if a sound of smartphone alarm woke me up instead of that good old alarm clock radio, I would have probably spent at least an hour scrolling through social media, and then I would get up from bed. But yeah, this was really an enjoyable experience. If you want to check my other two videos, 70s and 2000s, go ahead.